And their resilience, their problem comes actually against the so-called smaller clubs, normally at home.
Yeah, it's fascinating to look at the different aspects of both sides. I would suggest that players from both sides have to have a look at themselves, because there's been too many games, irrelevant of where, home or away, or what the circumstances are, where they haven't turned up. When they both play with that intensity and that desire, not just to play good football, but to stay in a game and battle, they would both be in much better positions. It's because they don't do it enough.
It's a tough game for Arsenal today, and they're usually, lauded because of the way they pop the ball around. It was overrun at times, especially in their midfield areas, but they just stuck at their task. They stuck at it, and eventually they got the rewards for that.
Just on the race to the top four quickly, I know all big clubs want to be in the Champions League. If Manchester City weren't in the Champions League next season, bearing in mind that the money is all right for City, they could cope with that being in the Champions League, and they've got Guardiola, who will still attract great players, would it be disastrous if they weren't in the Champions League?
No, I don't think so, because players will want to play for Pep Guardiola, and I would imagine every single player who they sign will think that it will only be for one season. I'd be amazed if it wasn't. So even though it's disappointing and the fans lose the excitement of those big nights, those big teams coming, it's not a disaster.
It's this time of the season where we look at it from an England point of view as well with the Euros. There'll be a positive and a negative for Roy Hodgson this evening. The negative being that Danny Welbeck picked up an injury.